Hey everybody, welcome back to Why Not RV. On this week's episode, I want to give you guys a real life update of how these solar panels have been working, how my mounting system worked, and what it's like to have 1200 watts of solar on your RV roof. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you want to learn more and make less mistakes while RVing. Check us out online at whynotrvusa.com. We're also now on Patreon at patreon.com/whynotrv. And we have an amazing Facebook group that is growing very, very quickly. So come join us on Facebook. It's just Why Not RV under Facebook groups. But I'm going to put a link in the description below for all those websites. Let's start real quick by talking about the mounting system. This has now been mounted on here for 8 months. If you haven't watched my video on how I installed it, go ahead, one of these two corners, I'll go ahead and put the link to that video. But basically I used Unistrut for the main mounting surface, and I used well nuts for compressing it down into the roof, and it worked out pretty darn well. So the system's been great. The die core and everything like that has been amazing. Nothing is shaken or come loose whatsoever. We've driven several thousand miles. We've gone all the way up to Maine. We're down in Rhode Island now. It's 8 months later. The die core all looks great, looks all brand spanking new. I've not had a single issue with it. I absolutely love the way I did it on this RV. I am going to do it differently on the RV, but that's going to be a whole nother video in a few months when we have the new RV. But I do recommend this system. It is awesome. It's been great for me. I am going to go ahead and you can see the die core down in there. And at that 1 year mark with all die core products, you should be checking them for cracks and everything like that, and adding some more lap sealant right on top of that. So I am going to be doing that here in another few months, probably right around the same time I'll be selling this RV, just so that the next owner doesn't have anything to worry about. But other than that, the mounting system has been amazing, performed amazingly. I've not done anything different in terms of tilting these, even though I easily could. Having the Unistrut already down on the base, I don't have to drill any holes or modify anything. I just add something right to the top and I can make these tilting. I didn't do that, but let's talk about how the solar's been performing and what it's like having 1200 watts of solar on your RV. So I've been taking some various footage across our trip the past few months. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some of that stuff in here in a little bit. But just as an overview, just so you know how everything's been going, 1200 watts of solar on the roof, flat mounted, does not mean you're gonna make 1200 watts. You rarely make 1200 watts of solar. It's, I'm averaging anywhere from 600 to 800 on a decent day, upwards of 1,000 to 1,200 on some really, really good days at high noon, but that only lasts for a very short amount of time. On average throughout the day, I'm only making 500-600 watts like all day long consistently. So, you really got to oversize your system for what you think you need if you really want to go fully off grid, fully off just solar. A day like today is a prime example why I love having solar. We are at this beautiful harvest host in Rhode Island. It is a gorgeous farm, vineyard, winery, and Christmas tree farm. It's absolutely incredible up here. The weather is gorgeous. I think the high today was 78. Never had to turn the air conditioner on, even though we could have. And all day long we've had 100% battery charge. It's been, we left from a campground this morning, so we were already fully charged. But then all day long, the solar's been maintaining everything in the RV. No problem. Everything's 100%. She's using her hair dryer. We use the toaster, use the microwave, all that kind of stuff, and it just recharges it immediately. So the solar is great. Now, if I was needing to run AC quite a bit throughout the day, we might be talking about something different. But because of this weather up here, this amount of solar, it is amazing. It's overkill, obviously, because I'm at 100% still. It's not like right now I have solar being collected. That's not doing anything because I'm not using it, which is good because otherwise I'd be using the batteries, and I'm going to use the batteries overnight, and then tomorrow they'll be getting recharged by the solar again. So that's basically, the short of it of how 1200 watts actually performs on a standard day. Let's take a look at some of the other footage that I've been recording, and I'll do my best to splice stuff in here, but this is from random times, so let's take a peek. If you guys ever really want to know the real reason why I have such a big battery bank and the solar and the way I did everything, it's this. Coffee. Before having this much solar and this big of a battery bank last year when we were boondocking in the morning, I didn't have enough juice in the batteries to get the coffee maker going. Even though I had an inverter and all that stuff, which is a whole nother gambit, I did not have enough juice in the batteries to run the coffee maker. It would bring down the power too much and would cause the voltage to get too low. So I'd have to get outside, start the generator, get it going, boom, and then I can make coffee. And it's just not fun. You just want to wake up, press the button, and have coffee. So that's the real reason you get solar. If you don't already know, I have 1,200 watts of solar on the roof, and I have 966 amp hours of lithium batteries in the front of the RV there. So with that stuff combined, I want to show you what we use, how we use it, and how it lasts us through the night, how we recharge it, and just kind of go over what it's like for us to be boondocking on that kind of juice for a few days. So let's get into it. The batteries right now are sitting at 88%. That's just because I had the fridge running off of it on electric. I did switch that back over to gas just because I want to use as minimal as electricity as possible throughout the night. But so we're gonna have the fans, the two max air vent fans. Those are gonna be running all night long. And Erica's humidifier will be on. We'll be watching some TV, charging our phones, that kind of thing. So really not a whole lot's gonna be on overnight. Now I have run, since we've been on the road, I've run our air conditioner overnight, no problem. It cycles, you know, it's only on for like 5 to 10 minutes at a time, and it's off for another 15-20 minutes. And when it's cycling like that, it'll make it through the night, no problem, because we have 966 amp hours worth of batteries. So if the air conditioner were to run nonstop, I think I can run for like 6 or 8 hours or something like that. I did the math one time, but you know, nonetheless, running overnight the air conditioner on batteries is perfectly fine. Now, right now, it is 68 degrees. I think the overnight low is 61. So that's not happening. I'm just gonna run the fans, the windows are open. It's gonna be a beautiful night, but maybe tomorrow night or the next night, we'll be in a warm enough place off to run the air conditioner, and you guys will be able to see what that looks like. So we are doing harvest hosts for 3 nights in a row. This is our first stop right now. We got 2 more to go. So I'll give you an update in the morning. All right, so you can see what we're doing here overnight is we have about 20 amps being drawn, which is mainly the, we have 2 vent fans that are running right now. We have a couple different Alexas, you know, Echo devices that are plugged in. We have our phones, that kind of thing. So, you know, we're going to bed with 84% on the batteries. So far, we've already used 160 amp hours, which, you know, if you have AGM batteries and you have 2 nice AGM batteries that are 300 amp hour total, that right there is past 50%. That right there, that's it, you're done. You shouldn't be drawing past 50%. So, you know, we haven't even used that much power yet. So, you know, you really gotta, you know, get a battery monitor on your system to know what you're doing and know what you're capable of running. All right, here we are the next morning. So we are about 24 hours since we actually disconnected from full electric yesterday when we left our campground. During the drive, my DC to DC charger and the solar kept us nice and charged. You can see the solar is in yellow and the consumption is in red. So it kept everything charged until we got to our harvest host, and we got a little bit of rain, so clouds came in where it wasn't making as much solar, and then it, you know, sunset, so we had no solar and just consumption overnight. So you can see the battery just kind of slowly trending down overnight. And I think we hit, let's see, what's our overnight low, looks like about 74% on the batteries, and now we're already starting to recharge. So the solar right now is making 600 watts. It is currently 10:30 in the morning. And again, I have 1,200 watts of solar up there. Now it's not a cloudy day, but it is like kind of a little bit of a mist or fog almost. I'll go outside and show you guys what it looks like. So 1,200 watts of solar. I'm actually only making 620 watts right now. And you can see what we're making inside the RV. There's not much on, but let's go outside. So as you can see right now, you know, we have a good bit of cloud coverage. It's, you know, just kind of hazy, so the solar isn't really making as much power as it can be making. That just depends on where you're at and you know, time of day, cloud coverage, stuff like that. So just because you have 1,200 watts of solar does not mean you're gonna make 1,200 watts all day long. Trust me, you're hardly gonna make that. So when you're planning out your solar stuff, there's a lot of unknown factors. So it's a lot of just learn as you go, see how things go for you, and adjust accordingly. Very often while we're out at harvest hosts and various locations, campgrounds, people see the solar up on the roof, they can see the edges of the panels, and the first thing they ask is, how much solar do you have? And I tell them how big the battery bank is, because at the end of the day, your solar is what recharges your batteries. Your batteries are actually what's going to do everything for you. So you need to really be focusing on your batteries and replenishing your batteries, not so much your consumption, per minute or per hour, because that's going to vary so much. A coffee maker might make 1,000 watts, but it's only on for a few minutes. So you really got to start to average out your stuff throughout the day to really know. Right now we're in northern New York, and we're heading to Vermont and then New Hampshire. And the weather has been amazing. I think today's high is going to be 83. So while we're driving today, the solar will be replenishing the batteries, and my DC to DC charger will be replenishing the batteries. Ideally, wherever we get to our first harvest host, we'll be at 100%. Now, the way I have my stuff set up, it's only going to run the bedroom air conditioner. In order to run my living room air conditioner, I have to run the generator, just because I only have one multi-plus, feeds one leg of power. That's how I have it set up. So if it's so hot that I need to run that living room air conditioner, I just run the generator, runs that AC, no big deal. And we'll see, hopefully today that happens, so I can actually show you guys what that actually looks like. But other than that, if it's nice enough weather, the bedroom AC doesn't need to run, or I can run it and put a fan in the bedroom and then pushes it out in the living room, and maybe show you guys what that looks like. So we made it to our second harvest host here in Vermont, and beautiful area. The RV is all set up. We are at 100%. We were able to have enough juice while we were driving between the DC to DC charger and the solar to recharge us fully. And right now it's maintaining at 100%, just because we don't have anything really running. The fridge isn't running on propane right now. The TV takes almost no energy at all. We have the two vent fans that are on, but those really don't take that much energy. So solar is just keeping it topped off. So we'll see what happens here at sunset. As you can probably hear, we had to end up running the generator here tonight, and it's only just because it was just a little bit too warm outside. It got in the 80s in the RV. It's just a little uncomfortable, so we're just running the generator for a little bit to run the main living room air conditioner. Again, the bedroom AC will run on our system because I have my multi-plus hooked up to run a lot of the coach, but not the washer dryer, not the fireplace, not the living room air conditioner. And also the water heater on 120 that will run off of gas. But anyways, so because of the way we have our system set up, I was unable to run the living room air conditioner. Now you can easily bypass that by having two multi-pluses, having an inverter feed both legs of power, whatever it is. And my batteries could very well be running my air conditioner right now, but only for a limited amount of time. And because I'd like to have my batteries at 100% charged before bed, I'm just gonna run the generator, run the living room AC, cool down for a little bit, and then it's already starting to cool down. I'll probably turn it off here in the next half hour or so as the sun's setting, and we'll see how it goes throughout the night. As you can hear, I got the AC running. We're about to go to bed. It's only like 9:30, I think. The batteries are fully charged. I think they're at like 97%. I'm gonna put a little thing here on the video so you can see what the AC is pulling when it's running with the compressor. And here in a few minutes, when the compressor turns off, I'll record another section for when it's just running the fan, and we'll see how we do overnight running the air conditioner. So as you see, overnight we've got down to 45 or 44% on the batteries with the AC running all night. We are in a pretty nice weather area, so if it was hotter, like up in the 70s or 80s overnight, it would have ran a lot more. We would have gotten down to like 20% battery. We've had that happen a couple times. But it was actually pretty cool last night. We probably could have ran just the ceiling fans or the vent fans, but we had a pretty nasty storm roll through, so I didn't want to risk sucking in a bunch of water through the windows. So, and I just want to show you guys these. We have these two hydroponic systems in the RV. Great way to have fresh herbs when you're on the road. I mean, just look at this stuff. Look at that. We got lettuce, we got tomato plants, we got all sorts of different things in there. Basil. I couldn't even tell you everything that's in there, but growing really cool, and it's always powered up because the multi-plus is always providing power for it. So that's another thing that's always causing just a very tiny amount of draw. As you can see, it is extremely foggy outside. Using that light back there as a little point of reference to tell you how much fog there is. But we're set up at another harvest host here in New Hampshire, and it's actually going to be 49 degrees tonight. So we're going to be running the furnace. Now, we did not get much battery charging today. The batteries only got up to like 52% before coming back down to 49, 48, and I think right now we're down to 44%, but we'll be perfectly fine. We got lithium and I have a big battery bank, so it'll run the furnace no problem overnight, and our lights and TV and phones and all that fun stuff. So we'll give you an update in the morning. This is our last morning of 3 days of boondocking with our solar. So you can see that we are currently at 37%. It says discharging. Let's see if I can refresh this. It's actually charging right now because I have more solar coming in. Anyways, it's showing, 530 watts of solar coming in. It's charging 360 watts because there's 94 watts of AC, 51 watts of DC. And overnight, we got down to, looks like 35%. That's what that looks like down there. So 35%. And now we're starting to make some solar. It's a beautiful, beautiful day here in New Hampshire. We are driving to Maine, and during our drive, our solar should be recharging quite a bit. But if it doesn't, even if it just maintains, that's perfectly fine because we are going to a campground now. We've been 3 days relying on our own stuff, and we didn't need to run the generator at all. We only ran it that one night for some air conditioning in the main living room. But otherwise, we did really, really good. We were in good weather. Not very sunny though, so didn't really get to use the solar to its full capability. That's it for this week's episode. I appreciate you guys watching if you stayed around to the end. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Come join us on our Facebook group online. You can shoot me a message on there. And other than that, we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.